Alrighty then. Hey guys, I did say I was gonna do the Majora's Mask stream at some point. So I figured it's a nice Saturday night, snowy outside. God bless that. And we're indoors, chilling. Let's do it. Let's do it. I want to try to my ideal thing that I want to do. So okay, I do have two versions. Well, two versions. They come from the same Henriko Magnifico pack, but one of them has the Project Restoration and HD HUD installed, and I'm gonna do that one because I love the way it looks, and also it changes the soundtrack. Matter of fact, actually, Henriko Magnifico's textures in general actually changed the soundtrack to like a fully orchestrated soundtrack, like a remastered soundtrack for Majora's Mask. It's really cool. Um, and yeah, I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's really something to behold. I mean, sometimes I like hearing the old select track, and sometimes I like hearing the new one, but it's cool to hear it. So you see, even the menu music is new. I'm just erasing the file that I was doing. Don't worry, I wasn't that far into the game. Nah. But let's see. Oh, I forgot. For some weird reason, when you play on Citra, you have to enter like your name using your keyboard. At first, I wasn't understanding why the game wasn't. I didn't understand why the game wasn't working. And it turns out it's because you got to put your name in, like using your keyboard and mouse. It's interesting. Yeah. Oh yes, this is the introduction to the game. It shows what happened after Link left Hyrule after warning Zelda of Ganondorf's impending plan, and so they stop him from ever fulfilling it. This is what happens if the hero is successful and goes back in time to being a child, and warns Zelda and everything like that. So he moves on from his adventures that were in Hyrule and journeys elsewhere to look for Navi, because Navi departs from him at the end of Ocarina of Time 3D because she felt he didn't need a fairy anymore. He was he was the hero. He completed his mission, so he went looking for her, and this is where we are now. That's where we are now. And funny thing about this opening, for some reason, these textures and shaders. Actually, no. Even without the textures and shaders, this happens when you go above native resolution in Majora's Mask on Citra. For some reason, there's like this weird kind of shadowy ghosting effect in the opening, but it's only in the opening. Maybe some other parts of the game that I'm not aware of, but I've only seen an opening this far. Ah, the Skull Kid. That's such a creepy laugh. This Tail and Talti or Tati. I'm not sure how to say her name properly. This was interesting to see like a dark fairy and a light fairy, or like a purple fairy rather, white fairy. Ocarina looks a little bit different with this texture pack. It's interesting. I either see the orchestrated soundtrack, so it doesn't have the It sounds different than the other version on the 3DS. I like it, and at the same time, sometimes I like playing with the original soundtrack, so there's actually a way to change it on the fly if you delete a certain file in the mod section and then put it back, whenever you want to hear the new soundtrack. Love it. So as you can see, the HD HUD mod with the Project Restoration, it puts those little icons in the top right and changes the hearts to look more like the Wind Waker or Twilight Princess HD remasters on the Wii U. Really cool. But yeah, like Ocarina of Time, everything looks fantastic, man. This shader pack and this texture pack is incredible. And of course, you know, I did mark what is it called? I mapped the buttons to the touch buttons to certain buttons on the controller. Very cool. I always love this introduction to Majora's Mask. Very intense, sort of like you could tell there's a sense of like urgency already from the beginning. A sense of like, this is different. You know, like there's something else going on here. You know, he took Epona for goodness sake. Or Epona. I always say Epona for some reason. But yeah. I love that. Those little icons on the map. They look fantastic with this new texture upgrade. So far, it's running pretty damn good. Like, thank goodness I downloaded the HD version instead of the 4K. 4K was going really slow. What's up with that stupid horse of yours? Didn't listen to a word I said to it. Or that said to it. There's no point in writing a thing. That's why I did you a favor and got rid of it. Hee hee. Wow. Skull Kid really was bad. I mean, mind you, he was under the control of the mask, but the concept of Majora's Mask and there's so much about the Majora's Mask philosophy that's just so creepy and dark and like unsettling. There's so many moments in this game that are like very unsettling. I mean, from the get-go with this cutscene with the Deku shrubs and the giant one that just takes his Link down. I mean, this game establishes pretty early on that it's very, even though it looks a lot like Ocarina because of the graphics and everything, it's very different, much darker, and it's much more unsettling at many moments. I mean, I remember when we first played this, and my brother got it back in 2000 for the N64, and I could already tell from the beginning that something was way different about this game. Like, it was creepier, it was darker. But, and Majora's Mask is still one of the most... The Majora's Mask, or Majora, is still one of the most intriguing, if not the most intriguing villain in Zelda history. So strange and enigmatic, and so, like, yeah. Oh, this is when they get, the two sisters get separated. No. I love their little noises, so cute. Tail, you can't do without me. Or Tail. Oh, I forgot that they were sisters. I forgot it was a boy, the other one. I love one thing that's so different about Talti or Tati from Navi is that she's much more spunky. I mean, Navi had her moments, but like Tati is is like just like a very human kind of like fairy. It's funny. She's like, take me, I'll help you, deal? She's like, oh yeah, we kind of screwed you over just now, but you know, I got left behind, so now you can just help me out, and you know, I'll be your partner for now. Or Tatil, yeah. I love that fourth wall break. He just looks at us. He's like, I have no idea what's going on right now. I love how the D-pad pops up like that to show you that the fairy wants to talk to you. That Tati wants to talk to you. Very cool. And it looks different than it does when you have it natively, because that does pop up also in the 3DS original, and you know, without the mods installed, but it looks so nice with the HD HUD mod. I'm so intrigued by these. Do you know how to use items? It's pretty important. Yep, I'm just showing you how to use items. So let's equip one of these items. Let's see. I think item is no, not that button. It's oh, there we go. Select button. So you see, it's so cool. It shows up right there on the item list. Like you don't usually see that if you're you don't have the mod installed. It makes it like almost like a console remaster situation, which is so dope. It literally feels, with that HD HUD, this game literally feels like if they would have made a Nintendo Switch remaster of Majora's Mask. Just so dope. It would be so cool if they would have done it for the anniversary, but sadly, nah, all jokes aside. There you go, see? You can do it if you try. When I fly over people... when I fly over to people or objects, use L to look at them, and you can interact with them. These sounds are where there's something I found a color tree and check it out. Wait. Wow. It's strange, but the way you look right now sort of reminds me of this tree. It looks so dark and gloomy, almost like it could start crying in a second now. How sad. It's very sad. I love the remastered rendition of the orchestrated rendition of Song of Healing. That song was always one of the most intriguing, melancholic, but like darkly beautiful songs in the Zelda franchise. I remember it was always so sad, but it was very like hauntingly beautiful. And I love well, yep, the famous line, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" Guy looks so much creepier with these new textures. His face is just so unsettling. And his laugh. I own the Happy Mask shop. I travel far and wide in search of masks. During my travels, a very important mask was stolen from me by an imp in the woods. So here I am at a loss, and now I found you. So creepy. He just changes position without warning. It's like there's no jump frames. I mean, there's no frames in between. He just... so creepy. Like how Link is already asked for a favor by Tato, and then now this guy's just like, oh yeah, can you do me a big favor? Get my mask back, and you know, we'll be all good. And I can change you back. Alright, the Sheikah Stones. A very interesting addition to the 3DS remakes. Love that he has like a Mario mask on the back. I love that you have free camera motion in the 3DS version of Majora's Mask. So dope. Down on the first day. So for anybody who doesn't know, Majora's Mask was very unique because you had this sort of 3-day system where the Happy Mask salesman asks you that he has to be gone within 3 days. We can get his mask back in 3 days. But not only that, it turns out that this place called Termina is under this sort of impending doom where the moon, little do the people know, the moon, they start to suspect as time gets closer, but the moon is getting closer to the earth, or like getting closer to their town, and it's gonna crash into the town in 3 days and, you know, spell certain doom for the town. So there's always this sort of, that's a big thing with Majora. There's this sense of dread over the game, over the story, making it a much darker, much more kind of melancholic experience than Ocarina of Time. Granted, it's hauntingly beautiful in so many of its moments, and the story is just so encapsulating and like powerful, especially because of that sort of melancholic aspect to it. But it ends on a happy note, you know, spoiler alert. But the intriguing thing about it was that, you know, for this first segment, Link is turned into the Deku Shrub, you know, by the Skull Kid, and is able to get turned back by the Happy Mask salesman. But in order to do that, you have to be able to get to the top of the clock tower, so that way you're able to kind of fight briefly with the Skull Kid or throw a bubble at him, so that you're able to get your Ocarina back. Which, once you get your Ocarina, now the Song of Time has a special property that it didn't have in that exact way in Ocarina, where you're able to, just as the moon is going to crash into the tower and you're at the top of pretty much the top of the tower and everything, you're able to use the Song of Time to go back and reverse the 3 days so that it goes back to the beginning of that first day when you got into the town, just like now. It's so brilliant. It's challenging as frick, because, I mean, you really have to get good at, you know, clearing these dungeons and defeating these, you know, enemies, these bosses, you know, within that 3-day window, because if you go back in time before you complete a dungeon, the dungeon basically resets and you have to start over. So that's crazy. I mean, it was so challenging but so brilliant from a design point of view. This is definitely, it's almost like a time trial is just built into the game from the get-go. Oh, I accidentally had Cafe come out. Cafe, his storyline is very interesting, along with his love. That's one of the most beautiful side stories in video game I've ever seen. I always forget the name of his wife or love interest, but they reunite just as they're about to be killed by the moon, like the town before like the end of the world is about to happen. And this beautiful, loving like moment. It's very sad, and Link is able to get the couple's mask and then reverse time. Also, I got the fairy. Now I have to go back. Oh, this is Tingle. I feel like this is the first time I remember him. The first time I remember him in a game. I think this was his first game. Comes out in Wind Waker also, and a couple other games. Albeit in a very different way. I forgot before that for this particular Great Fairy, there's only one stray fairy that you have to find. It is very much like they said in this show I used to watch, this game series called Magrak, where they did Best Game Ever. And they talk about the Zelda series, they talk about Majora's Mask, and they say that it's a beat the clock game, which is very challenging for new gamers, because beat the clock is not something you typically do out the gate in a video game. That's something that usually happens after you've mastered the game, and you want to try to speedrun it, or, you know, beat the clock to get some special reward. Think about it like in terms of the Resident Evil remake or the original. You know, you're not forced to beat the clock from the get-go. You beat the game normally, and then you can play the game again and try to beat it under 3 hours in order to unlock the rocket launcher. So that's an example of a typical beat the clock situation. Very different from this, where you're kind of having to beat the clock from the get-go. Okay, so now I remember I have to use my newly gained magic, which is cool that they have a little crosshair there. Oh, yeah, before we do that. Yep, the moon, the titular moon that has the creepy face. That's something too, this impending moon, that's impending doom that stems from this moon about to crash into the earth, is made so much more creepy by the fact that the moon just looks so angry and like pissed off and like creepy looking. They did such a brilliant job with this game. I mean, I think it almost rivals Ocarina for the best story in the franchise. In fact, I think it might actually have the best story in the franchise. And just the Ocarina for me holds a very special place because it was the first Zelda game I ever played, and it was a pivotal point in the franchise that revolutionized gaming as a whole. Okay, so now I have to find these little brats. Not kidding, not brats, but and I have to catch them in like a game of basically like tag. Oh, you caught me now. There's only 4 left. Yeah, so basically, this would have been kind of difficult to figure out without a game guide. I think my brother had a game guide for this game, and we tried not to use it. You know, sometimes you want to try to figure it out, but you know, there's moments. This is definitely a game that's very kind of challenging without a guide in the beginning. Especially, I remember we played this intro part and didn't really know what we had to do. And then the days started running out, and we got to the final day, and then the world just ended, and it's like game over, and we're like, holy shit, that was crazy. That freaked me out when that happened. I was like, whoa, like that's not what I was expecting. And so we figured out, I think we might have gotten the guide or something, and we figured out how to, what we had to do. You know, the Link had to find the stray fairy, bring back the Great Fairy to her regular form, and then, excuse me, and then use his newly found power to burst the bomber's balloon. I was trying to catch Cafe. A glimpse at him. Use the newly found magic to create a bubble that bursts their balloon. And then they are like, hey, that's pretty cool. You want to join our club, basically? It's funny how the dogs don't like you when you're a Deku Shrub Link. Okay, so you have to, I very much love the orchestrated version of the Clocktown theme, by the way. And I like how it introduces you to each area. It's like North Clocktown or West Clocktown has a beautiful intro, like when you go to a new area in these games, especially in Ocarina and Majora. I just like smack him in the face with my spin. I didn't think you'd come over here. So, but yeah, so then you have to, you know, the bombers are like, hey, you want to join our club and all that, so we can give you the code to join the bombers club. That's so you can get to a specific place where you need to go. I mean, you're not specifically told per se that you need to go there. You know, there's little clues that Tattale or drops you, and but it's still a little bit vague. Let me save just in case. So I'm going to say. Oh, so then you finally catch all the kids. You get the bomber's notebook, and you get the code to their little club. You go through that area because you needed to go there, so that way you can get to the astronomy tower, where the astronomer there lets you look through the telescope, and well, it's actually getting to the first day, the first night already, and chasing around these kids. I wonder where the other one is. Oh, I know where he is. I think he's on top of the he's on top of that bar, or the milk bar, or something like that. I forget what it's called. I have to use these flowers, which is a cool. It was such a cool, unique thing about Majora's Mask that we never really saw again. Was this ability to transform into these different creatures. Got him. Yes. Got him. Right as the first day was gonna end. You're pretty good for a Deku Shrub. If only you were human, then I can give you the original bomb. No, Berg, make you remember. No way, no Charlotte, so the code. 34215. 34215. They're messed up. They're like, we're going to tell you this once, by the way. 34215. There's this ominous sense of dread that you feel that is given whenever, like, day turns to night or night turns to day. 34215. I like how he's like so like, oh yeah, the code's right, but you're good. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff at that telescope guy's place. And, oh yeah, the Bar Secret Society of Justice Forever. Oh, right as I was to go. That wolf just makes it so creepy when it's turning nighttime. There's a sense of time running out, of course, because of the whole concept explained. It's crazy. Ooh. New enemy music in this game, by the way, which I thought was intriguing. Like how it just bounces off the Skulltulla's face. I need to use the magic to burst that little balloon. Let's see. I wonder how the astronomer knows the Skull Kid. That is one good thing, though, that Tattale will give you that clue. I think that's how we figured it out the first time, about what we needed to do. And it's a good thing that they give you magic there, because what if you used it too many times and you didn't have enough magic to burst the balloon? But yeah, dude. That's crazy. Oh, I like the Scarecrow from Ocarina. I'm a styling Scarecrow. Someone passing me dance with me. So that's actually something that's really cool, clever. So you don't have to wait the full 3 days. Once you come to the astronomy tower now, you're gonna see what happens. It's you talk to the astronomer, Inchan joined me today. Oh, I love the way that the freaking moon tier looks in this updated version. Are you a new friend of the Bombers Gang? Your manners seem much better than those of your mischievous friends from the other day. So you look in the astronomy tower's telescope, and you look at the top of the clock tower, and you zoom in, and you see Skull Kid. You know, obviously not under his own control. He's being controlled by Majora's Mask to commit these horrid deeds. Oh, that's crazy. You see a moon tear fall from the moon, and then he looks so creepy in the dark. It's like creepypasta status, which they did do a whole creepypasta about this game. You find that troublemaker and that loud noise. What was that? Perhaps another moon tear has fallen nearby. Go to the door and take a look outside. I wonder how that troublemaker got on top of the clock tower. So you grab the moon's tear, which looks phenomenal in this version. Seems like they're I don't think it's called gear. Gear basic stuff do you want? You don't really need to mess with it too much. Aww. Just use your nouns. It's going to come from the rest. Skull Kid. You know where he is now. And there's nothing to do. Let's go to the clock tower. So, funny thing. So, this game sort of leaves it ambiguous, but, okay, so once you have the moon's tear, you give the moon's tear to, the Deku shrub, that's next to the clock tower in the main part of town. And he says he always wanted a moon tear. He gives you the title deed to his little flower that you're then able to use to propel up to the clock tower, where you need to go to enter at midnight on the on the last night, during the last hour before the moon hits. So what you're able to do, if you do it, if you manage to get the moon's tear quickly, what you're able to do is actually dance with the scarecrow. If you want to like get to the last night, like let's say you played this once before and you kind of messed up and weren't able, you got the game over, you're able to but then you figured out what you need to do. You can and you got the moon's tear and it's not the last night yet. What you can do is dance with the scarecrow in order to fast forward to the next interval of time, because they're broken between day and night intervals. So you have the dawn of the first day, or daytime of the first day, and nighttime of the second day. Like how he literally, dawn of the second day. So if you got the moon's tear, you're able to, if you got the moon's tear early on, you're able to dance with the scarecrow until he fast forwards time just far enough so that way you can get to the last night. And you are able to go back to the clock tower. See, night of the second day, 36 hours remaining. Like how it's the same, he sounds a lot like the scarecrow from Ocarina. So it's, the astronomy tower looks incredible. Like the night sky looks beautiful when it's nighttime in the astronomy tower. I think I can say that during the day even, nobody. Like how he just shakes his head. Yep, so now it's night of the final day. So I just realized that I said it looks nice at night when that was actually the daytime. So as the citizens start to see the moon get eerily closer, they start to evacuate the town. which is what the Scarecrow just did. So you're not able to accidentally fast forward yourself to like in the last hour where like the moon's about to hit the ground. You're only able to fast forward at least until you get the Ocarina. You're able to, because you're able to fast forward with the Ocarina too, which is pretty great. But with the Ocarina, it's interesting because you're able to fast forward to specific intervals of time, like 3 a.m. on the first night or something. It's cool. And the collector, maybe we'll learn something. Yep, see? She gives you that clue. She gives you that clue to do that. Let's see. Doesn't make any sense. My camera says it's off. I don't know why the camera's off. It was just on a moment ago. Hey, my camera got a little messed up. Hold on. Let me see if I can plug it back in and it works. It's creepy because on the last day, I mean, as you get closer to the last day, you start to hear more and more of that rumbling. It's freaky. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can maybe. You might be hearing me. I was watching my own stream because I was trying to see if my camera was working. Hold on, I need to activate this again. My face froze. Doesn't make any sense. What happened to my camera? It's acting weird. Oh no. I had to cut this out of the recording later. Oh man. Maybe if I remove it and put it back in. Let's see. Maybe not the best idea in the world, but let's see. Hold on. Let me go save at the owl really quickly and then I'll reload the game. Okay, good. Alright, so I'm going to cancel the game really quickly and I'm going to fix my problem. Let me go back to... Oh no. Now my OBS is acting up. Oh no, this is not good. I think most likely I'm just going to do the rest of the stream without camera. So I don't want the OBS to shut down, then it's gonna end my stream. Yeah, you know what? Freak it. Alright, so we're back. I still don't have camera, but that's okay because it's alright. See, even from the get-go, that noise of the thing is just so creepy. Oh shite. Hold on, I gotta fix that. Change the orientation. Somehow I must have changed it with the oh, when I was clicking buttons on the keyboard. Well, I mean on the controller, because I had my controller companion on, which mimics the mouse and keyboard on the controller. How is it that I fix this again? Configure. I think it's the orientation. Single screen, rotate screens upright. I think I think that has to be on. Huh. Oh. Oh, there we go. Huh. Oh, it's because I probably pressed F8. Alright, so we're back to... Alright, so we're back now, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we can give the moon sphere to the Deku shrub that's right next to the clock tower in order to be able to get the land title deed to his little flower so that we can propel up to the clock tower where we need to be when the final hour takes place in the town. So I think, yeah, that's how we ended up figuring it out with the help of Tattale. We were able to discern that we need to give the moon sphere to this guy. Oh, crap. You show the early Deku shrub gets the nut. Wow, what an ass. Nah, but jokes aside, so he wants the moon sphere. There we go. That's done. You will hand it over to me. In exchange, I'll give you my father. You fire recruited, yes. The town title deed. You get a lot of those title deeds throughout the game. Very funny. Because then they give you access to different areas that you wouldn't be able to access otherwise in different parts of Termina. So now we're able to. This is a much more powerful Deku Shrub flower, so we're able to get higher and further. Ah, I got a heart container. I mean, not heart container. Heart piece of heart. It's like we still can't use the stairs that lead up to the roof. Oh well, can't be helped for now. Just do something to pass the time. Chat with people. Do a little dance. Whatever. It's not really my business. Tattale. It's too funny. But we stare up at the evil moon. I think it's like right on top. The closer you get to the final day and the final night, the moon gets eerily closer. For some strange reason, I can't do my front camera. I must have not synced that properly. Because I don't have also the gear either. Oh, never mind, it's L1. Interesting. Alright, so now the final hour commences. Which is supposed to be like the carnival and the festival in the town, but since so many people were worried about the impending moon crashing into the earth, or into Termina specifically, they left the town. So there's not much of a festival crowd out there. It's so eerie, but so powerful in the way it's conveyed, like that sense of dread and kind of dark. But and this part always freaked me out. That little time running out, like the timer counting down was so freaking me as a kid. I'm hearing the new rendition of the final 6 minutes song. It's one of the saddest songs like I've ever heard in a video game or in media. It just has that very end of the world sadness kind of like thing going on, that dreadful kind of sadness to it. And so I'm gonna go up. So what we have to do from here, go up to the clock tower, and lo and behold, the Skull Kid, where he was when we saw him in the actually he was at the very top, but where we saw him through the telescope. the theme song for the Majora's Mask is... I mean, the theme song for Majora is very creepy sounding too. Very like, kind of melancholic too. Mountain, ocean, canyon. The four who are there, bring them here. So that's a clue right there. Oh, what are you doing to my brother? Okay, do you think you're still our friend after that? Oh my god. Oh, whatever. See, I think they knew something was wrong there. They knew that's not their friend anymore. That something's wrong. He's not himself. I did a great job with the aura around him. And he starts making the moon fall down even faster, which puts everything kind of a panicky state. Oh, I love the new orchestrated soundtrack, especially in this moment. It's so beautiful sounding. So what we have to do is use the bubble to hit Skull Kid, and he drops the ocarina, and then we have to, it's like this very tense. Oh my, when you do this for the first time, it's like so tense. You're like, oh my god, I had to grab the ocarina quickly. And then got the Ocarina of Time back. Princess Zelda gave you this precious instrument. See, it looks more like itself now. For some reason, it just looked weird before. Oh, Ocarina. Zelda's lullaby, and he's remembering her when he left and said goodbye to Zelda. Oh. He looks weird again. I don't understand why it looks like that. I'm praying that for your journey to be a safe one. Thanks for having to remember this song. I like how the song that reminds her of them is the Song of Time, which Link uses in Ocarina to open the door of time. Let me see if I could do this properly, because the buttons don't necessarily match on my end. Oh, very easy actually. You remember Song of Time. Wow, I love that. Goddess of Time is protecting you. If you play the Song of Time, she'll aid you. So that's when we realize, you gotta get yourself together. Getting that over here is gonna help us. Anybody Goddess of Time, help us please, we need more time. That's when you realize that you're actually able to... Oh, an instrument, when did you... It's funny that with each of his masks, the ocarina manifests a different instrument. So, for him here, it's, bagpipes. Oops. My bad. So it's crazy how he realizes that he needs to play the Song of Time in order to reverse time back to the first day. And you lose all your items that have amounts in them. Oh, I should have put the rupees in the bank. Funny thing though, if you put rupees in the bank, for some reason they don't, like, get taken back by time. I just feel like that's a new cutscene. Interesting. Oh no, I think this actually was in the original. I think it's just him remembering everything. Oh, he's so creepy looking like that. Bruh. Yes, definitely want to save. In the original game, that was one of the only ways you could save. You could save at the owl statues, but only like temporarily. It was like a one-time, not a one-time save per se, but it was to get saved in that particular location. And you had to make sure to save again at the statue every time. If you were to load that save and forget to save again, it would take you back to your last Ocarina of Time, going back in time save. In this one, you can actually save at the owl statues and they'll keep you at that save if I'm not mistaken. See? Took him back to the first day. And the moon is back a little higher and... What are you anyway? That song you played, that instrument. That instrument. That's it, your instrument. The man Sylvan said that if you got back the precious thing that was stolen from you, he could return you back to normal. Did you forget it or what? So yeah, now you're gonna go back to the happy mask salesman. He thinks you got his mask back, but see, you were to record. Oh, you got it, you got it. Listen to me. Play this song. I'm about to remember it well. I used to actually know how to play that song on the piano. It's like the whole like kind of the whole like song. It's very beautiful. Oops. It got like a giant X. Song of Healing is so beautiful in this game in the sense that it also it's very sad what it ends up doing. It usually it puts the soul of the original person that Link ends up getting a mask from to transform into to rest. So that Deku shrub, he's letting its soul go in peace to the afterlife. And later on, you meet the father of that Deku shrub who doesn't know what happened to his son. It's really sad. And he finds him at the end. He finds his body. That's actually the body of the Deku shrub was that first little tree that you and Tail encounter in the beginning. See, this is a method that heals evil magic with troubled spirits, turning them into masks. I am sure it'll be of assistance to you in the future. Yes, I give you this mask in commemoration of this day. Fear not, for the magic has been sealed inside the mask. When you wear it, you will transform into the shape you just were. When you remove it, you will return to normal. So brilliant. Promise me. Link totally forgot that part of the bargain. And the happy mask salesman gets mad because he wasn't able to get his mask back. And he gets so creepy looking here with his face getting all angry. Don't you? Yo, so weird. It looks like it just changes into that face out of nowhere with no like cutting frames, just right to it. If you leave my mask out there, something terrible will happen. The master of some Majora's mask. First item from the legend is said to have been used by the ancient tribe of Hexy rituals. And evil and wicked power is bestowed upon the one who wears the mask. That's the thing that makes Majora so intriguing. See, according to legend, the legends were so great. Fearing such a catastrophe sealed the mask in the shadow forever, returning its misuse. Now that the tribe from legend has vanished, so no one really knows the true nature of the mask's power. I feel it. It's so creepy, his face. I'm too good to get that legendary mask when I finally had it. I can sense the doom of a dark ruin. It was that unwelcome feeling that makes your hair stand on end. Now that imp has it. I'm begging you, must get that mask back quickly or something horrible will happen. Yo, they made his face so much more creepy looking in this texture upgrade. I'm begging you, must do it. Can you do it for me? I'm sure you would tell me that. Oh yeah, when I found one of these. It appears to be one of those fancy notebooks those local brass carry on where the ink dropped it. I have no use for things like this, so please consider a gift. I insist to use it now. The only good things can come of it. It's funny how he gets the bomber's notebook from him. I'm not sure if that's how it was in the original. I don't remember. But that's cool because the bomber's notebook really takes note of everything, like the bomber's code and all these really important things. Minutes that you see in people's schedule will be added to your notebook automatically. Hopefully find it useful. The most urgent matter of that menacing mask. May this land rest in your capable hands. Do strength believe. It's interesting how it looks like that in there, like a TV screen. That mask. Skull Kid uses the power of that mask to do those terrible things. Well, whatever it takes, you gotta do something about it. The swamp, mountains, oceans, and canyon that Tail was trying to tell us about. But he was referring to the 4 areas just outside town. There's one in each compass direction. But what do you suppose he meant by the 4 who are there? I have no idea. He always skips important stuff. Maybe, I guess we should just go and find out. So what you have to do in this game after that moment, well, the goal here is to get those 4, to beat the 4 dungeons, like free or awaken the 4, ancient spirits that are then able to, on the last night, using like a special song that summons them, you're able to summon them to hold up the moon right before it falls down. And it's a very deep philosophy in this game. It's much more complicated and kind of much more in depth than that. It's really only through playing the game that you can, or watching on YouTube, that you can really get the full sense of the story, and it's hauntingly beautiful. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now, guys. I just wanted to play through the intro part, kind of like how I did with Ocarina. You know, play through the first dungeon, sort of. But since this game has a lengthy introduction, I figured let's play through that, and then we'll leave it there. I'll probably get on Twitch or something later on, play some more of the Ocarina. I do want to do a full playthrough of these games eventually, so stay tuned, and maybe I'll do a full playthrough of these on the channel or on Twitch. You know, you don't need the land title deed anymore. You can just climb up here as regular Link. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching this. Thanks so much, and take care.